For years, the best-selling vehicle in the Toyota lineup has been the Camry. However, as Americans have shifted their focus from sedans to SUVs, the RAV4 has taken away that honor from the Camry. And this week, the company has sent me over their latest version. However, there's an all-new one just over the horizon in winter of 2018. Why does this one still continue to sell in such huge numbers? That's what we're here to find out. So the RAV4 name has been in America for quite a few years. In fact, this version is known as the 4th generation. Toyota first introduced it back in 2013, and they gave the car a pretty extensive overhaul in 2016. Now, I've actually never shown you guys a full review on just this car. I did a comparison test a couple months ago. However, the refresh model definitely has a decent distinctive look to it. This particular one that I'm showing you is the new Adventure Grade. Toyota offers the RAV in 6 different trims. When you see the front end of this car, you can see it has a lot of distinctive styling elements that we've seen on other Toyota products. It has the same corporate grille, these slim looking headlights. The Adventure Grade is kind of equipped similar to an XLE, so you just have projector halogens with a halogen daytime running light. I highly recommend going for the SE and up trims, as it'll give you the LED headlights with LED low beams and then the LED daytime running lights. Now, the Adventure trim also gives you fog lights down here, which are halogen. And then my tester finished in this ruby flare metallic with the black accents. Definitely makes it look a lot more attractive, a little bit more distinctive. I'm not sure how I feel about this hood stripe right here. Not really a stripe, it's kind of like a black accent tape that goes over the hood. It's distinctive to the Adventure Grade, along with the blacked out headlights and the blacked out trim. Now, the RAV is definitely a little bit bigger than a lot of its competitors. As you guys know, this competes with things like a CR-V, a Nissan Rogue. At 104.7 inches long in the wheelbase and 183 inches long, this is slightly longer than something like a CR-V or a Mazda CX-5. Now, the Adventure Grade also comes with these black finish 18-inch wheels. They definitely look nice. They're pretty similar to what you get on the other trims, just in a different finish. You also get a little bit more pronounced cladding on the side and on the rocker panels. And surprisingly, Toyota actually has raised the ground clearance of this model from 6.1 to 6.5 inches. But although the ground clearance is kind of just matching that which you get with the SE, which is supposed to be the sportier version. Now, the RAV definitely has a very traditional crossover shape. And if you guys have seen my review on the new one, they definitely went with a little bit more rugged shape. This is a little bit more car-like. So I'm kind of happy where Toyota's going with the next generation. But this one still definitely has a nice, unique look to it. Some of you will love it, some of you may hate it. Now, at the back, you have that black bar that goes across the taillights, which are an LED combination. This is very similar to what you get on the SE trim. And then you also have black badges, along with an Adventure badge at the back. No visible exhaust tips. Toyota kind of just hides it underneath the bumper over there, along with giving you parking sensors if you guys get the option. Now, my tester also has like a Power Equipment Premium Plus package that gives you the power tailgate. It's one of the slower opening tailgates. It also doesn't have the hands-free foot activated feature, but you can see here the RAV still has a very good cargo volume. You're looking at around 38.7 cubic feet of space. If you fold down the seats, which some competitors offer like a little lever here that folds them down, Toyota does not. You have to instead go to the rear seat. This drops down to give you around just under 74 cubic feet of space. So still lots of cargo capacity. Underneath here, Toyota also gives you a temporary spare tire. No additional storage really underneath here like some competitors, but overall you're going to find the cargo area to be very useful in the RAV still. This particular one, being an Adventure Grade trim, does not come standard with the company's Smart Key Access system. This is actually part of a premium value package for like $1,000 but when you do get that option, you do get the push button start with intelligent access. This is the current, or actually slightly older, Toyota key fob. It feels cheap, a little flimsy. There's no remote start on the key fob, but you do have a power tailgate that's included with this package. So as you approach the RAV4, just keep the key fob in your pocket. And then you'll notice here on the driver's door handle and on the passenger side, just touch your hand or your finger right there. That will lock the door when you have the key fob on you. To unlock it, Toyota does a sensor on the back of the handle. Just touch that, it'll unlock the door for you. Now, this particular one has its own unique interior trim because it's the Adventure Grade. This is the black fabric option. You can also get a gray. If you guys go for an SE or up trim, it comes with the Softex leatherette, which is a faux leather. The seats themselves, they're pretty comfortable. I do like the contrasting white stitching, but I just prefer a leather trim. If you guys actually want real cowhide, Toyota does not offer it on this current generation RAV. This one also has the power driver's seat, which is nice. You have a two-way lumbar support, but no memory seats. You have to go for the top of the line platinum trim to get that. Now, stepping inside the RAV, it's still really easy to get in and out of because this is an SUV. And then you have a really nice, good view of the road. So this is one of the reasons why everybody tends to buy one of these. Now, when you shut the door, it sounds nice and solid. It's a heavy feeling door as well, which is great because this platform is getting ready to be replaced. Now, when you want to start the vehicle up, just put your foot on the brake like every other car, and then push this button here to fire up the engine. Now the gauges, they're not unique to this car. They're pretty much the same as what you get in the other trim levels. The SE is the only version that gives you its own red accented gauge cluster. Now, looking at the rest of this interior, or at least scanning it, it kind of looks nice at a glance. I really like the Softex leatherette that you have here with the real stitching. It's actually really soft, but unfortunately when you start touching the interior everywhere else, it's kind of filled with hard touch plastics with some silver painted plastic. This is all hard touch plastic right here, and then this silver painted plastic doesn't fool anyone into thinking this is aluminum. Over here, it is slightly padded right here where you would rest your elbows, and then it's also a nice soft leatherette material right there. Hard touch plastic over here, and then you have a chrome accented door handle there. The window is one touch automatic for just the driver's side. I wish that Toyota made it on the passenger side. I'm not entirely sure. The Platinum models may give you the one touch on all four. I know Toyota does that on higher trims usually. Looking at the steering wheel here, you can see this is an older steering wheel that we've seen on like a Corolla or maybe even the current generation Sienna. The steering wheel itself is tilt telescoping. You can see some of the older Toyota switchgear here with the, cruise control stock. This car does come with Toyota Safety Sense P as standard, which means you get adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking. That's all standard even on the base trim. The gauges, you can see there's a little helper screen in the center, which is a little bit small, but it does give you some useful information. You can access all your different settings right there. It even shows you a torque split with the all-wheel drive system. It also has sway control, so this car will monitor if you're getting sleepy. It'll tell you when you take a rest, which is nice. I mean, overall, the gauges, they're clean, easy to read. Don't expect to find things like a head-up display on some competitors. The RAV just doesn't offer it. Remember, this platform is pretty old. Now, down here, you're going to find a bunch of secondary buttons here. My tester has the cold weather package that's unique to the Adventure, so it gives you a heated steering wheel. Lane departure alert to turn it on and off is here. And then you can also lock the center diff, put it in like a 50-50 lock if you guys find yourself stuck in low-speed conditions. Now, over here, you can see there's a nice storage area here, which is pretty useful. And then the center stack. This is the Toyota Entune head unit display. This is the larger 8-inch or 7-inch display. The lower trims will have like a 6.1-inch display. This does not have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is the old system. You can see here's kind of like the standard audio screen. If you push the home button here, you can see here this is your home screen, which you can customize here. I have this one showing the nav here with your audio and then your phone. This one also has the embedded navigation that's part of that premium value package for $3,000. The navigation itself, it's nothing special. It's pretty old Toyota. It doesn't really work too well like a tablet. It's like there's no pinch, there's no zoom, there's no swipe. Instead, if you want to zoom in and out, you have to do that. So this kind of takes you back to like early 2009 or 2000, early 2000 era. That's what the head unit here looks like. Going to the audio display here, you can see all your usual sources, AM, FM, XM. Again, there's Bluetooth streaming, but there's no Apple CarPlay connectivity. So if you do plug in your phone via USB, it'll just kind of show your phone there, but not the full integration like the newer Toyota system. Dual zone climate control is optional. You do get this as standard on the XLE trims and up, which is nice. And then down here, you have a few more buttons. Your USB is right there. Heated windscreen, which is included with the cold weather package. You have 2-level heated cloth seats with the cold weather package, and then Toyota also gives you a sport and an eco mode, which does basically just change the color of that, and then it alters the transmission programming. No adaptive suspension or adaptive steering. There's a nice area here where you can put your phone, but it's not a wireless charging pad, surprisingly. Toyota does not offer that on the RAV, I don't believe. The newer version should offer that. More storage down here, which is great. Cup holder there, another deep cup holder right here. Not as much storage as what you get from something like the CR-V. Now here, a lot of you will really like the traditional shift knob. The Adventure Grade also gives you its own unique shift knob itself. You can interchange this if you'd like, so if you want to buy this as an accessory, you can certainly add that. This is Toyota's 6-speed automatic transmission with a sport manual mode. No paddles on the wheel, of course. When you put the vehicle into reverse, you do get a backup camera with front and rear parking sensors. That's optional on my tester. You do also have a 360 camera available if you guys go for the Platinum trim, which is standard. It's also available as an option on the SE and the Limited grades. It's a decent backup camera, nothing too special in that regard. Traditional handbrake here, which some of you will also prefer. And then this is slightly padded, but it's not stitched with the Softex leatherette like the dash, which is surprising. You have 2-level storage compartment, which there's no actual power outlets in there, but you do have a little second level over there. It's a pretty deep size storage, although the lid itself is a little bit on the flimsier side. Now above you, standard size sunroof, which is included on this trim, which is nice. No pano sunroof is available on this car. The seats, I find them to be comfortable, supportive. I don't really like cloth, but if you guys prefer cloth, you're gonna like this trim. But overall, the interior of the RAV still feels roomy. It still feels spacious, although a little bit more narrow than some competitors. Great visibility, so it's easy to see why a lot of people can get in this car and just easily or instantly feel at home. Now, as a family vehicle, the RAV4 also still excels when you get into the second row seats or the back seats. As you can see here, the floor is nice and low. It's also flat here with like a lot of competitors, so you can fit 3 people across. No rear seat vents back here. I believe the higher trims give that to you if you guys go for the Platinum. You do get a little 12-volt here, but no USB power outlets like some competitors. Toyota also gives you 2 map pockets. And then when you look back here, the seats, I actually think they're at a really nice angle. Good thigh supports. The materials are all hard touch plastic with some soft padding right there. But unlike some competitors, the rear seat, it does actually recline slightly. It actually gives you a nice level of recline, which is great. And then you have a nice little armrest here that folds down. It gives you 2 cup holders, and then as you can see here, good headroom. The back seat's definitely usable. It's just kind of lacking in terms of the modern tech features that some of the newer competitors offer you. So when this generation RAV4 came out in 2013, a lot of people were sad because Toyota got rid of the V6. Unfortunately, when they refreshed this thing in 2016, they still didn't bring back the V6. You have a choice of 2 different powertrains. This is the standard motor. The other one's the hybrid. This is Toyota's 2.5 liter variable valve timing 4-cylinder without direct injection. This is the old 2.5 liter engine that was in the previous generation Camry. Now, its numbers are 176 horsepower, pretty average numbers, 172 foot-pounds of torque. It all goes out through a 6-speed automatic transmission. No manual is available, no CVT. Some of you may find that as a huge plus. You can take your pick between front or all-wheel drive. The hybrid, I'll have to save that for a different review. Now, there's no upgrade engine, as I said. However, the 19 RAV4 will have about 30 more ponies in this, so I'll be looking forward to showing you guys a full review on that when it becomes available. Fuel economy, the RAV4 also kind of lags behind. It's rated at 22 in the city, 28 on the highway. Thankfully, it uses regular gas. With this one, with all-wheel drive, it weighs around 3,400 pounds. Let's get it out on the road and see how it all performs, shall we? So believe it or not, I actually haven't shown you guys a full review on the 2018 or this generation RAV4 just yet. I actually did a comparison test between this and the current CR-V where the Honda kind of kicked this car's butt. But since Toyota sent me this car, I'm heading out to, or at least to the media drive for the 19 model. I figured I'd do a full review on this one. Now, the one thing about the RAV is, you know, as I said earlier, over 40,000 people bought one of these in June of 2018. So what gives? Why do so many people love this car? Well, first setting off in the RAV4, it's kind of easy to see why. This is a really simple, kind of fly under the radar kind of vehicle. It's really easy to drive. It's really easy to see out of. And the majority of people who need a vehicle to take them from point A to point B are going to find a lot to like about this car. Now, getting onto the highway here, you can see this one having, you know, the 2.5 liter base gas engine. There's also a hybrid. There's no 6-cylinder available on this car anymore. You know, when you're driving the car at normal speeds, it actually has decent power. And what Toyota basically did is they tuned the gas pedal in this car to be very, very sensitive. It's got a touchy throttle pedal. So when you first put your foot down, it feels relatively quick. Unfortunately, that power kind of tapers off very quickly once you get the engine past 3,000 RPM. I mean, this car only has 176 horsepower. It has a 6-speed automatic, a naturally aspirated engine. It's underpowered. I've seen the 0 to 60 time at a tick over 9 seconds, which is, again, slower than a lot of the competition. You're really going to notice this car's lack of horsepower when you do this. Now, the engine itself, very smooth and refined at high RPMs. It's pulling all the way to 6,500 RPM there, so it's not bad. It's a very quiet engine, and it's gonna basically kind of just fade into the background, which is what people in this segment really like. Now, getting up to highway speeds here, you can see the RAV tracks very nicely. It's also relatively quiet in here. Very little engine noise, a little bit more road noise than I'm used to. Wind noise is good, and the handling of this car has an electric power steering assist. it's based on the Camry's platform, essentially. And this is not the new TNGA platform, which is a lot sportier, a lot lower. So this car doesn't handle quite as well as things like the new Camry, the new Corolla, the new Avalon. I'm really looking forward to driving the new RAV4, but this car is not, scary to drive. It's not, insecure. It just kind of goes down the road with a very softness to it. The ride quality is excellent, which is what a lot of people in this segment really like. It's not floaty, but it's also very well controlled. It's got good damping on the shocks. And I don't really notice the extra, half-inch ground clearance. It's not even a half-inch, it's like 0.3-inch extra ground clearance, which is actually the same ground clearance as you get from the SE trim RAV4. So, a lot of you are gonna kind of get into this car and just know how to drive it. It's really easy to drive. Great visibility as well. You have good view out of the front, big side mirrors. The view out of the back is also not obstructed, which is great. Toyota Safety Sense P, as I said before, comes standard, although the lane keep assist in this car is just annoying. I find myself turning it off because as soon as you cross over the lane, it just beeps. Now it does have the steering assist, but it waits till the very last minute to where you cross, and then you'll feel it kind of jerk the wheel back. So it's not the active lane trace control that I've shown you in the new Corolla, where it does a much better job of keeping you actually in the lane. The adaptive cruise control in this car also does not follow the car to a full stop. It'll shut off at like 19 miles per hour, which is a little bit annoying. But it's something you have to remember. This is an older platform. Now, thankfully, passing power is decent in this car, so if you do want to get around people, you don't have to put your foot down too hard. The transmission in this car is the older 6-speed automatic. It's definitely down 2 gears versus the new 8-speed. I noticed that it shifts smoothly and slowly. It just doesn't have those quicker shifts that I really prefer with the new 8-speed. So again, everything about this car is just a more relaxed driving style to kind of go with, the type of buyer who typically buys this car. Now, these things are not built to really handle extremely well, but because it's a car-based SUV, it does handle okay going on this off-ramp here. You can see the steering is quick and precise enough, just lacking in feel. You do feel the soft suspension where the body leans heavily, but again, nobody's going to be pushing these crossovers the way I push them, but it's always good to see how they handle aggressive driving if you guys are running late for wherever you need to go. Okay. Again, my foot is to the floor here. We're trying to get up to highway speeds. It's taking its sweet ass time, but it'll get us there eventually. And this is exactly why, some of the competitors have gone to a turbo engine like the new CR-V. This is just incredibly sluggish. Again, Toyota is offering a new powertrain in the 2019 model, which I haven't driven. We've driven it in the new Camry, the new 2.5, which has like another 30 horsepower over this. It's gonna be a huge welcome upgrade. But if you guys, don't have the time to wait, if you need a new car now, how does this new RAV4 feel? Should you wait for the new model? For me, I like to have something with a little bit more adequate power, something with the newest technology, so I would definitely wait for the new RAV. However, you can easily pick these up for a steal right now, which is basically why Toyota sells so many of these. The amount of discounts that Toyota does is insane. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, oh, Toyota is the best selling because they do a lot of fleet sales. Out of the 41,000, I looked up the numbers. Apparently, only about 8,000 of those were fleet sales. So that's not terribly too much. It still actually outsold the CR-V and the Rogue if you just look at the actual retail sales of this car, which was a little over 32,000 units. So Toyota's got something great in this car with this car. It's it's a very comfortable, easy to drive car that is basically going to be a great daily driver for a lot of people. Now, fuel economy, let's talk about that really quickly. 22, 28 is definitely below par for the segment. I've been averaging around 19 miles per gallon in mostly city driving with my lead foot. On the highway, I got it up to about 26 mpg. So again, an extra gear, a more efficient, direct injection engine would definitely help this car get better gas mileage. It's a little bit below the competition, not really going to be too noticeable for a lot of drivers out there. And if you drive a lot more conservatively than I do, you're going to get slightly better gas mileage. But other than that, it's a very comfortable, easy car to drive, and you can pick one of these up for a great deal. It has most of the tech that you'd like. But for those of you who prefer the newest vehicle, who prefer the new styling of the model, I might suggest waiting for that when it does go on sale at the end of 2018. So I have to admit, as an enthusiast, it's pretty difficult to get excited over a vehicle like the RAV4. It pretty much is kind of middle of the road in terms of every category that I would measure this car up against all of its competitors. As you guys saw from the review, its engine is really quiet, smooth. It doesn't really do much to inspire any confidence. Its handling, car-like, again, not sporty. Its interior, roomy, comfortable, very practical. Everything about this car screams kind of efficient transportation appliance that kind of gives you the practicality you're looking for, which unfortunately for enthusiasts, that's exactly what sells. And it's one of the reasons why this is the best-selling crossover in America. As I said earlier, Toyota sold over 41,000 of these in July of 2018, and only about 8,000 of them were actual fleet sales. So this still outsold the CR-V and the Rogue in July of 2018. With all that said, what's it going to cost to put a RAV4 in your driveway if you guys are looking for a vehicle like this? Thankfully, the RAV4 is pretty inexpensive. The base LE starts at just under $24,000, $23,660. Most of you will probably upgrade to the LE for like another $1,000 that gives you alloy wheels, auto climate control, power driver's seat. This adventure grade is about $1,500 higher versus the XLE, and it gives you all the black accents, the increased ground clearance. Four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive is about a $1,000 upgrade. This particular one, because it's got the N2 navigation, the power liftgate, the push-button start, and the blind spot monitoring, is around $33,000, which represents a really good middle ground considering the fact that Toyota is offering steep discounts on these while we wait for the 2019 model to come in. If you guys really go crazy on a RAV4, you could spend around $37,500 for the fully loaded platinum trim. But again, keep in mind all those discounts, and it's kind of easy to see why a lot of people are choosing this over something like the Rogue. For me personally, if I just needed an efficient transportation SUV with all this practicality, I probably would choose this over the Rogue just because I don't like the CVT in that vehicle. But if it was my money personally, I probably would also pick the CR-V because it's newer, has more power, has better technology in it, and I would happily spend the extra money just to get, you know, the slightly newer vehicle. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on this 2018 Toyota RAV4 Adventure. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.